Ironically, um, Candace Parker is in a little bit of a hot seat right now.
Yeah, she
For
probably shouldn't go to Chicago.
Candace Parker just did the one thing you're not supposed to do in the WNBA. She told the truth. And now, the mob is coming for her. If you've been following women's basketball lately, you know exactly what's going on. The league's biggest story isn't just about competition anymore. It's about control. The fastest rising superstar the WNBA has ever seen, Caitlin Clark, has completely changed the game. She's smashing records, driving historic TV ratings, selling out arenas, and pulling in new fans every single night. And yet, instead of celebrating her success, a loud corner of the basketball world keeps trying to tear her down. Here's where it gets wild. The hate doesn't stop with Caitlin. Anyone who dares to praise her without adding a dozen qualifiers gets attacked too. And now that anyone is Candace Parker, one of the most respected legends the league has ever had. There's no denying it anymore. Caitlin Clark is the engine behind the WNBA's new wave of attention. Fourth in MVP voting, rookie record breaker, Time Athlete of the Year. That's a generational resume. But say that out loud without adding, and everyone else deserves equal credit. And suddenly you're part of the problem. That's the new rule. And Candace just broke it. For months, she's been steady in her support for Caitlin. But this week she went further. Not just defending Clark against lazy narratives, but calling out the players pushing them. That's when everything shifted. She wasn't just defending a player anymore. She was challenging the system. And in this league, that's crossing the line. So what did Candace say? And why is it shaking the WNBA to its core? Let's break it down.
I just think that when you bring opinions to the table, you gotta have something to back it up. So you can't just say stuff.
Sadly, Candace, you're learning the hard way. That's just not how the WNBA operates right now. When it comes to Caitlin Clark's impact, both on the court and in the league's bank account, the playbook has been clear. Either ignore it or downplay it until it seems insignificant. And you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at how ESPN handled the All-Star Game ratings. Burying the numbers instead of admitting Clark drove the audience.
It's fine to just say, just post the ratings. That is fine. That is absolutely fine. But it is another situation than pretending like Caitlin Clark doesn't exist.
Sadly, Candace Parker is learning firsthand how the WNBA operates when it comes to Caitlin Clark, with selective memory and selective outrage. Take ESPN's handling of the All-Star Game numbers. They didn't compare this year's ratings to last year's, the one Caitlin Clark actually played in. Instead, they skipped right over it and went all the way back to 2023. Why? Because if they compared it to last year, they'd have to admit the truth. Ratings were down a staggering 36% without Caitlin Clark on the court. There's no honest reason to erase the most recent season unless you're trying to bury the Caitlin Clark effect and push the illusion that the league thrives just fine without her. But this isn't new. This is the old guard's favorite move. The same tired playbook that's been running for years. Even though Caitlin Clark is single-handedly raising the WNBA's profile, boosting sponsorships, TV deals and player salaries, there's this strange unwritten rule. You can't celebrate her success on its own. You have to immediately attach a list of other names. Or else you're accused of tearing down the league. That double standard hits maximum intensity when the conversation turns to Angel Reese. And this is exactly where Candace Parker stepped into the fire. For reasons no one at the league office has ever backed up with numbers, the WNBA seems determined to elevate Angel Reese to Caitlin Clark's level. Not just as a rival, but as an equal in popularity and impact. Now, give Angel her credit. She's a marketing force, a social media powerhouse, and one of the most recognizable faces in the game. But let's be real. She's not on Caitlin Clark's level when it comes to talent, stats, or financial impact. Caitlin's presence has literally changed the economics of the sport. Teams are moving to bigger arenas just to host her. Like when Angel's own team shifted to a 20,000-seat venue for Fever games, yet still can't sell out their regular home court, which holds half that number. But if you dare point that out, instant outrage. Bring stats, bring receipts, it doesn't matter. The mob shows up, accusing you of jealousy, bias, or worse. Meanwhile, it's open season on Caitlin Clark. No one blinks when she's criticized, mocked, or minimized. And with Caitlyn missing much of this season, still not quite at 100% in the games she's played, the vultures have started circling again. Case in point. After the Fever won the Commissioner's Cup without her and later beat the Aces, ESPN's Carolyn Peck didn't just praise the team's progress. She went as far as to suggest the Fever might actually be better off without Caitlin Clark. That's how deep the double standard runs. And exactly why Candace Parker decided enough was enough.
Look, I think that Indiana is even more dangerous when Caitlin Clark doesn't play because she's a ball-dominant guard. The ball's in her hands a lot, so you know what you need to try to take away. But when you look at Indiana now, they've got so many weapons.
And trust me, that was only the beginning. After the Fever's 5-game winning streak, instead of celebrating their success, the same tired narrative returned. People once again pushing the idea they're better without Caitlin Clark.
We have to deal with the possibility that the Indiana Fever, right now, in this moment, are better without Caitlin Clark. And that sounds crazy, and people are saying, how can you say that? I'm saying it because we're seeing it.
Now it's gone from subtle shots to full-on dismissal. People are actually claiming Caitlin Clark just isn't that good.
See, he always trying to push this CC narrative. She good, but she not that good.
Here's the truth they don't want you to hear. The Fever are 8-5 with Caitlin Clark in the lineup and 9-9 without her. That's not just a stat, that's a mic drop. Every single time this better without her narrative starts spreading, reality shuts it down fast. But that's where the WNBA is right now. If there's a way to downplay Caitlyn's impact, someone will jump on it, no matter how easily the numbers prove them wrong. And that's exactly why what happened next matters so much. Into this mess stepped Candace Parker, one of the league's most respected voices, and she didn't tiptoe around the issue. She didn't just defend Caitlin Clark. She challenged the mob's favorite talking points head-on. And in doing so, she's quickly becoming a kind of martyr for saying what everyone knows but is too afraid to admit. Candace has praised Caitlin before. But this time, the backlash hit hard. On ESPN's First Take, when asked about the resentment across the league over all the attention Caitlin's getting, Candace didn't play it safe or sugarcoat her words. She gave a blunt, logical answer. And it was exactly what the haters didn't want to hear. The outrage was immediate.
You know, it's so crazy to me because I'm asked so many times if I'm resentful in any type of way for where the WNBA is right now. My job was to leave the game better than I came into it. You think Cheryl Miller is resentful for me that I had a league to play in? No, she's being the mentor that she is, and she's supporting and loving and sitting courtside cheering on Juju Watkins. And I'm doing the same for Caitlin Clark and all the women in the WNBA.
Candace didn't tiptoe or sugarcoat a thing. She looked straight into the camera and told the WNBA, "Stop being jealous, stop being insecure, and start appreciating that Caitlin Clark is making everyone money." It was pure common sense to fans but completely toxic to the mob. And she didn't stop there. When Jemele Hill threw a cheap shot about Caitlin's turnovers, Candace fired right back, shutting down the nonsense on the spot.
Freakish floor vision.
Mm-hmm.
I know she had 10 turnovers. But
that's like a learning. I think all of us
Exactly.
young
She'll get it.
turn the ball over,
She'll get better.
and especially when you're the focal point of the entire defense. You're gonna have more turnovers. You're gonna have more live ball situations, and the competitive element of you do tend to take chances early on, and you learn that sometimes it might be a highlight, but 7 out of 10 times it's probably gonna be a turnover. And I had to learn that because I was, some of the biggest things with Pat was like offensive rebounding and me turning the ball over. So those are the two things I get.
No apology, no backtracking. Candace stood firm and defended Caitlin again, directly and unapologetically. But that's where the real trouble started, at least for the old guard. When the talk shifted to comparing Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, Candace committed the WNBA's ultimate sin. She praised Caitlin more.
This is where it gets tricky. Caitlin Clark is at an A level. I think in time she's going to raise up to that S, but in order to put her at that level, you got to have a couple more years. So then you got Angel Reese. I put her right at that sea level. I think in terms of being above, you have to be able to have the ability to carry a team, be a 1 or 2 option. I think Angel Reese is fantastic at her role, which is offensive rebounding. She showed and demonstrated so much growth in that first year.
Calling Angel Reese a C-tier player was the spark that lit the fire. Angel's fans completely lost it. Social media exploded with outrage, accusing Candace of being out of touch and telling her to learn from Lisa Leslie and Aya Wilson, who always hype up Angel. But instead of discussing her actual point, the mob went straight for character attacks. And the backlash got so intense that Cheryl Swoops herself jumped in.
Yeah, she probably shouldn't go to Chicago.
You probably shouldn't send her back to Chicago. But go ahead, Jordan.
Objectivity, out the window.
Objectivity's gone. In today's WNBA climate, if you praise Caitlin Clark without instantly calling Angel Reese an A-tier player, you're blacklisted. Period. But Candace didn't back down. No apology, no retreat, just pure conviction.
That being said, the facts that I want to bring to this table, and I challenge anybody to tell me, what player are you taking Angel Reese over of those that I just listed?
Guess we'll wait for their response.
Oh, we're not gonna, okay.
Because,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But what I'm saying is, in what player, and this is no disrespect, these are the greatest players in the game right now. They asked me to rank the tier right now, and I sit in a studio at Turner with Shaq and Chuck, and some of which I think at times they do individually and personally attack people's character. And I think I pride myself on trying to be an analyst that does not do that. I do not attack character. I literally am just, from my point of view, from my opinion, this was the ranking. And so I ask again, are you taking Angel above Paige? Are you taking Angel above Arike? Are you taking Angel above Sabrina or Kelsey or Caitlin or Asia or Nafisa or Brianna? No, that does not make her a bad player. That does not make me a hater. Do I think she could be up there? Yeah.
Then she went all in, calling out the players for delivering one of the worst All-Star game performances ever.
Y'all cannot come out there with those shirts of pay us what you owe us and then do that in the All-Star game. Like, I just think that it would have really maximized the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product. Because I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up I was like, I can't, I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this. So I just think that, no, you all didn't have to, but I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on, like, more momentum, if that makes sense.
And she was absolutely right. That All-Star game, coming right after players wore shirts demanding fair pay, was embarrassing. The pace dragged, the energy was flat, and let's be honest, the ratings ESPN tried to hide would have been even worse if Caitlin Clark hadn't been on the sidelines keeping fans watching.
This year she played assistant coach and bench cheerleader throughout the game, and I'm here to tell you, if she hadn't been actively participating in her street clothes role as the bench coach and cheerleader, I'll swear those ratings would have been down another 10%.
From her interviews, it's obvious Candace understands exactly what's happening. She's not speaking impulsively. She knows Caitlin Clark's impact better than most in the league. And that's precisely why she's willing to step into the fire. Candace isn't just defending Caitlin. She's pushing back against an anti-Clark narrative that's holding the league back. She recognizes that the WNBA needs leaders who can celebrate Clark objectively, not cave to a mob that would rather slip back into irrelevance without her than succeed with her. And just when it looked like she might back off, Candace came swinging again, this time taking aim at one of the mob's favorite talking points, the absurd claim that the Fever are better without Caitlin Clark.
They're not better without Caitlin. But I do feel like times like this, different people step up. Just like Natasha Howard stepped up during the Commissioner Cup, like it showed.
There's no hate toward the Fever here. Candace's point is simple and honest. Sure, the team has shown improvement without Caitlin, but that doesn't mean they won't be even better when she returns. Aaliyah Boston, the franchise's other star, was right there nodding along in agreement. No one in that locker room took offense. Then Candace made it crystal clear.
It honestly is scary because not only are you allowing other people to step up, but you're allowing Caitlin to then survey and realize how she can add.
Understands exactly what's happening. She's not speaking impulsively. She knows Caitlin Clark's impact better than most in the league. And that's precisely why she's willing to step into the fire. Candace isn't just defending Caitlin. She's pushing back against an anti-Clark narrative that's holding the league back. She recognizes that the WNBA needs leaders who can celebrate Clark objectively, not cave to a mob that would rather slip back into irrelevance without her than succeed with her. And just when it looked like she might back off, Candace came swinging again, this time taking aim at one of the mob's favorite talking points, the absurd claim that the Fever are better without Caitlin Clark.
You can't just say stuff. In this day and age, we have a lot of people that are just saying stuff. And with that being said, I don't want to be a part of that.
Here's the reality. Without Caitlin Clark and without voices like Candace Parker willing to defend her, the WNBA risks wasting the greatest growth opportunity in its history. If you're still here, drop a trophy emoji in the comments to show you made it to the end and to give Candace the respect she's earned.